Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast, your go-to source for personal, professional, and organizational growth and development. We hope you tune in often for all things people management, organizational development and change, organizational leadership, and social impact related. Maximize your personal and organizational potential with Human Capital Innovations Podcast. Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. In this HCI podcast episode, I talk with Dr. Robert J. Flower about leveraging adversity as a driving force towards fulfilling our potential. Dr. Robert J. Flower, welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you. I'm excited for our conversation today. And I appreciate your patience as we're dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties. And ultimately, we got connected. We're going to have a nice conversation. And today we're going to talk about leveraging adversity as a driving force towards fulfilling our potential. And I know that that's something that you feel passionate about. How do we help people reach their full potential? As we get started, I wanted to share Dr. Bob's bio with everybody. Dr. Robert J. Flower, author of Decoding the Holy Grail and the Discovery of the Potential Molecule, is a leading authority on potential and achievement and has written 10 previous books on the subject. Dr. Flower's interest in philosophy and ancient history led to a discovery of a biological process of cellular development that models our thinking process. And I could go on and on with many of your accomplishments, but I'm super excited to just get into it with you and unpack some of what you have found and apply it into the world of leveraging potential. Anything else you would like to share with listeners by way of your background or personal context before we dive on in further?
Only that this discovery is scientifically based. It's based in biology, and we've had some neurological tests which show that the concept is 96% valid. So it's not out of my imagination. It's not something that I compiled out of different concepts. It's really a discovery rather than a creation. You know, it's been there for thousands of years. And I'm beginning to understand that some of the greatest men in history were talking about this, and even the great philosophers had a portion of this in their thinking, but not the entirety. So it's important for your audience to understand that this is a fact. I've employed this with thousands of people, and it's just a wonderful, very successful model for proper thinking, and it seems Excellent. To be a lost art today.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this potential molecule and the potential theory then.
Yes. Yeah. I discovered this with a geneticist colleague of mine many years ago. He had actually discovered a unique way in which a cell develops. Okay, and it's a step-by-step thing, and involves creating, organizing, and functioning, which pretty much encompasses just about anything you could think of. And we worked together for about 9 years before he passed on putting those principles into a practical application. Hence, we call this the potential molecule because it does have a biological basis to it. And it's in every single, I mean, I've done thousands of analyses over the years. I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. And there, in every single case, this process, this model, this molecule procedure is there. So what we do is first we inform people what it is, identify it, explain how it works. Then we do analyses of the individual or group and relative to these laws, these principles, and there's 13 of them actually, and then we try and set up thinking processes that are easier, clearer, more to the point than what they're going through in their lives. If nothing else, Jonathan, it's a matter of making things clear in one life, how they are thinking, how the other guy's thinking, what's going on metaphysically, under the roof, so to speak, as to what's happening in a particular situation. And it does so with incredible accuracy. And I've done this with politicians, athletes, laymen, corporate people, kids. And I've always had the satisfaction of being able to give them a direction and an understanding that they never had before. Never had before. Because this is something that's it's innate, and it's it's what I call an exceptional mind. In fact, one of my books is entitled "Your Exceptional Mind," so that what we do is put people into that state of consciousness, that state of mind, whereby things are clear to them, and pathways to higher degrees of achievement, greater potential, are available to them.
Yeah, excellent. So can you break it down for us? Tell us the components of this model, this theory, and really how would it apply? For example, you work with a politician, you work with an athlete, you work with an executive. How would you then apply it in a real world kind of scenario to help someone unlock kind of the way they think about their own potential and the potential of people on their team?
Well, okay. One of the organizational principles that we implement that has a significant impact on clients or users is feedback. And the way it works very simply is that are you aware of the messages that you're receiving on a daily level from average people, from people all around you? And the messages usually come in a sense of things you don't like. So what happens is you may engage with an individual. It could be a corporate client or what have you, and something is said that annoys you, bothers you. Well, that's a feedback message. That's something internal to you that you need to address. You need to have that factor looked at and examined, because what's bothering you is really something about yourself that needs to be addressed. And that's why it's one of the reasons why I'm so big on the whole notion of turning negatives into positives, okay? Because that's how we achieve a greater. I've had people including myself. I mean, when this first happened to me, I first realized this. I mean, my marriage, my family life, just completely turned around. I mean, I was struggling at the time of just newly married. I'm now married 51 years to the same beautiful woman. I have 3 grown, healthy, happy, very, very successful children. So, and grandchildren as well. So that's just one of the laws or principles that are involved in this molecular structure that we have within us.
Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Academy. Courses, micro-credentials, and certificates to upskill and reskill for the future of work. All HCI Academy courses, micro-credentials, and certificates are designed, developed, and delivered by award-winning and internationally renowned scholars, educators, thought leaders, executives, and practitioners. Our courses, micro-credentials, and certificates will help you make your mark on the future of work and make an immediate impact in your organizations. Check out the HCI Academy and our many course offerings and certificates to upskill and reskill for the future of work. Check out our new weekly LinkedIn newsletter, Alchemizing Human Capital, exploring industry trends via original research and interviews with executives and thought leaders from across the globe. We look forward to having you join us.
And here's the thing. We all have this. We all have this exceptional mind. And if you follow it, you end up with achievement well beyond where you've been before. I mean, it's a door opener. So we have classes, we have Zoom, we have individual engagements with people. Of course, we have the books, but the books, even so, I have 10, 11 books. And even with the books, they're not as effective as dealing with a person face to face with their specific issues, because we're all different, and we all have different applications of these principles. While the principles are the same for each and every one of us, the way we implement them, the way we use them, is unique to us. So what we need to do, by the way, we have assessments. We have human potential assessments that we do. These assessments, we have 7 of them at this point, and plus we do some customized assessments. But these assessments can generate over 217,000 different personal profiles, thinking profiles. So we could take an issue, you do the test, and we could tell you things about your thinking that you would never approach. Psychologists don't, and we've had psychologists that we've worked with. One, Les Femi, Dr. Les Femi, is a accomplished author, and he was head of the Princeton Biofeedback Center in New Jersey. He just recently passed a few months ago. Brilliant man, and his specialty was focus, how to focus on things and how important focus is and ways to focus, right? Which is one of the laws. So that's just a small inclination as to how we use the whole system. But more importantly, understanding that we have this mind, it's hidden away in there. And we don't recognize it. And some of the great teachers of the world, of history, have tried to explain it as it came to them. But unfortunately, they didn't have the tools that we have today. So today, a simple guy like me is much easier to have an understanding of what they took. I mean, it took me 40 years and a lot of help to get to the point where we can say, we can identify this to a comprehensive point. But it's so important. I mean, I wish I were 20, 30 years younger so I had more time to tell the world, because this is something that it just makes your life so much richer, so much fuller.
Yeah.
Hope becomes belief. And we give up these notions of sacrifice and penalizing and things being penalized and being limited and whatnot. No.
Well, Bob, this has really been interesting, and I'm super excited to check out more of your work and your books. And I just love the idea about working towards unlocking our potential and the potential of those around us. I think that's what being a great leader is, that you help people recognize their potential and you help them to grow into that potential, to really maximize that potential. So I love it. I really appreciate all of your interesting insights and your perspective. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to give you a chance to share with listeners how they can get connected with you, where they can find your books, find out more about the work you're doing, and then give us the final word on the topic for today.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Jonathan. We have a couple of different websites you can go to. If you're interested in learning more about our assessments and taking them, you go to our website of naturalthinking.org, or to get more information in depth, go to drbobflower.com, and that's drbobflower.com. The books are on our websites. They're also, you can order them through Amazon. And you can contact us through the websites. We do group lessons. We do Zoom lessons. We do individual conferences. We work with corporations, like I said, politicians. There's any number of politicians that will begrudgingly state that this has helped them. Of course, once you have the knowledge, you then have to have the will and desire to follow the path that's laid out before you, which is, again, consider the use of adversity, the most important thing in life, the means for achieving a great deal of potential. And I'm not going to say you're going to reach the greatest amount of potential, because it never ends. Every day is a new, exciting experience to me. And if I just may add one last thing, I just came off of a year, physically and mentally, that honestly destroys most people. I got hit with the virus. After I took the first vaccination, and that ended up having a very negative effect, which threw me into leukemia. I spent over a month in the hospital, and I managed to survive this And I am now, I feel so much stronger, although I'm physically weak. I feel so much stronger in my commitment to life with everything I and my family actually saved me. They helped me, they pulled me through this. But this is the type of thing that we need in the world. We need to have that drive for potential, not lowering standards, upping standards. Learn from the Olympians. They didn't get there by lowering standards. And they didn't get there by not doing hard work and sacrifice.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob. It's been a pleasure. I encourage listeners to reach out, get connected, find out more about what Bob can do for you, check out the books. And as always, I hope everyone can stay healthy and safe, that you can find meaning and purpose at work each and every day. And I hope you all have a great week. Bluer Than Indigo Leadership, the journey of becoming a truly remarkable leader. Early in my adult life, I learned about an Asian proverb that translates as bluer than indigo. If you think about the color indigo, it is a brilliant, deep, and vibrant blue, what some would call the bluest of blues. To have something that is bluer than indigo is rare and truly remarkable. Contrary to popular myth, there is no one-size-fits-all or cookie-cutter approach to effective leadership. There is no silver bullet, no secret sauce, no go-to model that will solve all of your problems. The truth is, great leaders have all had their unique strengths and flaws, and have all had to discover and then pave their own distinctive path in their life's journey to fulfill their leadership potential. Bluer Than Indigo Leadership will help you discover your own path and explore those ordinary, everyday actions that will help you respond to an uncertain future and produce extraordinary results for your individuals, teams, and organizations. The alchemy of truly remarkable leadership. Ordinary, everyday actions that produce extraordinary results. Consider how the nature of work has shifted over the past 50 years. With increased globalization, rapid technological advancement, and the shift in economic composition, the average job of today looks very different than the average job of 50 years ago. What will the jobs and organizations of tomorrow look like? Moreover, what does this all mean for organizational leaders? What are the core competencies and capabilities of organizations and their leadership that are prepared for continued disruption and geopolitical and socioeconomic shifts? Regardless of what the future holds, increasingly, leaders need to be socially minded, data-driven, decisive, champions of talent, and disruptors of the traditional notions of leadership, teams, organizations, and work. The alchemy of truly remarkable leadership will help you to explore your own leadership competencies and capabilities and consider ways to apply and implement them into your workplace and personal life. Check out Human Capital Innovations magazine, Human Capital Leadership. Human Capital Leadership is a free, interactive e-magazine with the mission to help individuals, leaders, and organizations find innovative approaches to maximize their human capital potential. We publish issues quarterly in August, November, February, and May. Take a look at the latest issue and let us know what you think. Thanks again for joining us for this episode of the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. I hope you stay healthy and safe and that you have a great week. Check out our new weekly LinkedIn newsletter, Alchemizing Human Capital, exploring industry trends via original research and interviews with executives and thought leaders from across the globe. We look forward to having you join us.